cinematography, as well it should.
Yes, it should.
Speaking of movies that won Best Picture awards at the Oscars, well, actually, before we move on to the other movie, let's talk about how in the 1929 Oscars there were 2 awards for Best Picture. There was Outstanding Picture, which was sort of, my understanding of it is that was to reward sort of quality of production, and there was Best Unique and Artistic Picture, which Sunrise won.
Right.
And retroactively has kind of been shut out of the Best Picture lists of movies.
It didn't exist for that long, though, right?
Only the first year.
Yeah.
Only 29.
I feel like people just say like that these two shared Best Picture the first
They
year.
usually don't. In almost every instance, maybe it's changing, but in almost every instance, Wings is given the sole credit for the first Best Picture winner at the Oscars. And it's not really true. There were 2. And Sunrise is kind of better, I think. But Wings is also pretty good, so let's talk about it.
You know what? Maybe we're going to contrast in some interesting places here, because I thought Wings is great.
Like, I also think Wings is great. I just think I like Sunrise more.
Yeah. I don't know.
Mostly because of like character stuff. Like I get emotionally invested in the characters in Sunrise a lot more than I do in Wings.
Yeah, I mean, it's more both of these movies very Hollywood.
Yeah.
I think that's the other thing that like really makes them fitting as sharing the first Oscar for Best Picture, is because both of these movies are extremely it's like they're off to the start already of what the Academy Awards loves.
Yes. Yeah.
Wings.
Wings.
It's a
hell of a picture.
It's a hell of a picture. So it is a movie about World War I fighter pilots. It starts off in the country when they're both boys. These two men who are, of course, in a love triangle. It's a silent movie.
It has more of a love square almost.
Yes. Yeah, kind of.
Yeah,
true.
I mean, it's a love triangle that then Clara Bow is sort of like adjacent to.
Yeah, it's a love triangle with one line sticking out of it.
Yes. Right. We meet one of our 2 like lead characters, or 3 lead characters, I suppose. It was Jack, who is just a sweet idiot who dreams of flying. I think this character is very dumb. Like conceptually the character isn't dumb, but I mean like the way he's characterized, I'm like, this dummy. What is he doing?
He's kind of like getting duped by people at various times.
Yeah. But so he dreams of flying, and he builds he's very mechanically inclined, so he builds a race car with the help of his neighbor Mary, played by Clara Bow. Clara Bow, by the way, who was written into this movie after the fact. Like, she wasn't initially, her character didn't exist at first, and then she made the movie It in 1927, which blew up and was super popular and coined the term It Girl.
And then
they were like, we got to get this Clara Bow into more pictures. Put her in that Wings picture. She can play, I don't know, like a cute neighbor.
The girl next door.
Yes, literally.
Jack, what's her name in this movie? It's
Mary.
Mary. Yeah, so Jack and Mary grew up together. In the intertitles, it seems to say that like he regretted saving her from a fire. Like, it hints at this backstory that they had. Like she's in love with him, but he kind of thinks she's annoying. He builds this car, and she's about to test it out, and she puts a shooting star on the car. Paints it on the side of the car, and she says, "We can call it the shooting star." And you know what you can do when you see a shooting star, right? And he's like, "No, what?" And then she says, "You kiss the lady you love."
And he's like, "Great idea! I'll drive over to her house right now."
So he does that, and she's like kind of getting herself ready to go. It's a good kind of comedy moment.
Yeah.
And then he drives over to this other woman's house. Sylvia, who it says she's advantaged by being the prettiest woman in town, and the guy who's with her is advantaged by being the richest boy in town.
David, the local rich boy.
Yes.
They're introduced swinging on a swing, but the camera is also like mounted on the swing. So it's like we see the background like swinging around behind them. It's a really cool shot.
Yeah, and as they with each swing, it's really good. Like you were saying, like with each swing, Jack gets closer and closer until
You
he's
see the car coming behind them.
yeah. It's very silly. You know, the two of them are on the swing talking about how much they love each other, and then Jack runs up behind them and he's like, "Hey, lady, want to go ride in my car?" She's like, "Okay, sure." And
yeah, she humors him as she does kind of a lot throughout this movie, to a point where it's like, you gotta stop it. But so then war were declared, and both Jack and David enlist to be fighter pilots. And while they're like enlisting at like the army center, there's a German man there in line, Hermann Schwimpf. Schwimpf.
I feel like the wimp in there is probably intentional.
Yeah. And the recruiting people are like, "What? You're German? Get out of here!" And he's like, "But," and he shows that he has a goofy American flag tattoo on his arm that he like jiggles around like it's waving. And they're like, "All right, you're okay. You have an American flag tattoo. Clearly, you're patriotic or whatever."
It starts this like recurring bit through the movie where people think like, "Hey, you're un-American." And he goes,
Yeah.
"Wait a second." He pulls his arm. He pulls the sleeve off his arm, and like he's
so
gonna
goofy.
about to punch you. And then he does it to reveal his American flag, which you can see like the sticky part of a temporary tattoo on the edge of it. Maybe people just didn't know what temporary tattoos were back in the day. But yeah, he's like a comic relief character. I will say, we're talking about war were declared, is that we were talking about like cool animated title cards, and one was in Sunrise where when she says "drown her," like the
and then
the letters like, fall down like drown,
like the
her.
letters melt almost like they're turning to water. Yeah, that.
And then also, I guess I should have mentioned this a second ago, but like she says "drown her," the letters come back up or come down, and then at the end, like the end, it comes back up, like it rises out of the water, you know. So that was cool. But in this, when you know something has crept into the lives of these innocent young boys, war, and it's a big word that says war, and the letters are on fire.
It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, 27, great year for like big dramatic intertitles.
Yeah. Yep.
Moloch,
war, drown her.
Maybe that should be the name of the episode. But so before they leave, Sylvia makes a nice little locket with a picture of herself for David. But then Jack shows up to the house and is like, "Cool locket. This is for me, right?" And she's like, "Sure. Yeah, fine,
not even. She's like, wait. There's something written on the back of it. Like she doesn't say this, but
right. She writes a little love note to David on the back of the picture and puts it in the locket, and Jack just assumes it's for him and takes it.
And doesn't give her a chance to ask for it back
because he is incapable of reading the room.
Yeah.
Which also, side note, I think we got to bring lockets back. No one's giving each other lockets anymore.
I feel like that happened in the 90s. I remember being a kid and like people talking about lockets.
Maybe. I mean, I was maybe too young, but I don't know. I saw this movie and I was like, "Oh, lockets. Those are great." I want
secret messages.
Yeah. So they go off to train to be fighter pilots, and they initially are rivals. They're button heads because they're like seemingly romantic rivals, even though, you know, it's kind of one-sided.
I feel like this also, like this part of the movie, this training montage kind of, not a montage exactly.
Not really a montage, but
like a training segment of the movie.
Yeah.
And includes like people spinning around in things like you see in military training montages.
Yeah.
This is where I feel like the movie like gets its feet and starts, I don't know, I didn't have high hopes for this movie, honestly, when I first started it, because I thought it was just going to be a kind of generic Hollywood drama that we've like in the style that we've seen before. And I think at the beginning, there's nothing wrong with it, but like that's kind of how it starts, right? And
Yeah.
then this training sequence feels very it feels very modern, It
Mhm.
feels like you're watching a movie. Like this is when I went, "Oh, this is a Hollywood movie."
Yeah.
It is in line with so many other sequences that probably took a lot of inspiration. These two
Yeah.
characters who find this respect for each other by fighting it out uh,
Yeah.
while training, and then just
The
all
only
of
way
the
men can become friends is by
seriously,
hitting each other.
they're doing all this training. There's a part where, so at the end of the training sequence, they kind of get stationed together in their barrack tent
Mhm.
as new buddies, and then they get a roommate who is like, he's a more experienced pilot, and they talk to each other
And
about
they're both like, "Ooh, this guy's cool." He's
yeah
like the cool older kid that they get bunked with.
yeah, and he's like, just take after me, kids, and you'll be fine.
He is also, by the way, played by Gary Cooper, famous actor Gary Cooper.
Who we'll see more of shortly.
Yeah, he's like 8th build in this movie.
Before David left, and also I was against David at the beginning because you're kind of supposed to be in a way. I think he's kind of meant to be a little pompous, and
Mhm.
he is the rival to the kind of main character.
Right.
Uh, and I think that as they become buddies, this kind of fleshes out. And before David leaves, his parents give him a little tiny teddy bear that he had as a kid, and his mom says to bring it back to her, and he carries it around as a good luck charm.
Mhm.
They're talking about their good luck charms to each other in the tent with their cool older brother there, and so David's like, "I have this lucky charm. It's my teddy bear from when I was a kid," and then Jack says, "I have a lucky charm, but you can't see it because it is."
It's
It's
this
a
locket that I
picture.
stole.
It's a picture of your girlfriend
Yeah.
that I also love. That I don't know has your name written on the back.
Yeah.
So they asked the cool pilot, "Oh, do you carry any lucky trinkets?" He's like, "A lot of people do that, but never been my style. I just think
I'm too cool for Lucky Charms.
yeah." He's just like, "I think someday, someday you're gonna go or you're gonna go, then that's gonna
Yeah.
happen. Whatever. Anyway, I'm gonna go do some test flying." And then he immediately crashes and dies.
Yeah. Thereby sort of setting the stakes, being like, "Oh shit!" Like he wasn't even fighting. He was just doing practice flying.
Yeah, it is serious. It's not jokey, but yeah, and that's the moment. This movie like starts as this kind of innocent fun, then it becomes this kind of like boys being boys thing, and then like
Mhm.
when the guy they just met just dies, then it
Yeah.
starts getting real, and pretty much right after that, like plane fighting starts.
Yeah. A quick thing about that boxing scene from the training earlier: the sergeant who's teaching them to box was a real boxer named Gunboat Smith,
Oh,
which is a great boxing name.
good
I just
detail.
needed to call out old Gunboat for a second. But yeah, so they after the training stuff, they go off, to fight the Germans, and we get our first proper like dogfight scene with real airplanes flying around.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's
Um,
crazy.
they are going out for this kind of routine, like inspecting the perimeter, and they're being commanded by a much more experienced pilot who didn't just die. They're asking him like, "Do you think we're going to see any action? You think we're going to see some heinies?" They call them.
Which I understand why, but every time that comes up in the intertitles of like another Heine, I'm just like, God damn it. Why did they have to call them Heinies?
I guess I don't know where that's from. Like a similar route to Heineken, I suppose.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, "I have a feeling we will see some Germans. I've got a rival. He's like who is he called? It's like the Red Baron, basically.
It's not the Red Bear. It's like the Blue Falcon. It's something else.
Off-brand
that isn't-
Red Baron.
Exactly. Yeah.
And sure enough, like it's their first time flying officially in the field, and then they face combat.
Yeah.
And those airplane dogfight scenes are ridiculous.
Yeah, because they're just flying real airplanes around and filming it, and they're like catching fire. I mean, they're shooting out smoke, and there's some hand painted fire added in just to make it a little extra dramatic. But it's like they're just doing dogfights in real life. I mean, they're not actually shooting at each other, but still, it's like the aerial footage in this movie is crazy. Like it still looks as impressive as it did then because they're just filming real stuff.
Yeah, and this is the kind of thing that like would be done with special effects and not have the same like grit that it does here. But like this feels intense.
It feels dangerous because it was.
Yeah, like the hand painted fire. The pretty much entire movie has got like a kind of sepia tone on it.
There's a couple like blue scenes to signify night.
Yeah.
And the like, but it's fairly monochromatic. But yeah, there's a couple hand painted flames coming off of the planes that are going down. There's real smoke coming off of them, but the flames are added in.
Yeah, the only colors are like yellow, blue, and fire.
Yeah, when they're shooting their machine guns, they have more like hand painted like muzzle flashes kind of. The German planes are called Fokkers, which is actually what, the type of German plane in World War I that was flying around. But it is funny in the intertitles when they're like, there's a bunch of Fokkers coming down on our tail, and it's like, it's not supposed to be funny. Yeah, they keep referring to enemy planes as Fokkers, and it made me giggle. So yeah, they have their first
Meet the Parents reference in this episode.
So they have their first battle, and I think it's David his gun jams, and he's about to get shot by the Blue Baron or whatever his name is, but he sees that the gun is jammed, and he's like, I can't shoot this guy down. And there's a title that's like
the Knights of the Sky have chivalry too.
Yes, yeah. So he flies away and lets them live. But then they get some medals for their bravery in the battle. And meanwhile, we see that Mary has joined the war effort as an ambulance driver, and almost gets blown up when there's a bombing raid over the town that she's in. Yeah,
and like there's another kind of plane action sequence. They've got these like peppered through the movie, I think, at very good intervals. Like this movie's pretty long, but I think the pacing is quite good. Where it gives you like some kind of drama on the ground and then action in the skies.
Yeah. And it doesn't feel overly long. It feels like, no, this isn't a war epic, and it feels appropriately long for how much happens.
So yeah, like she's kind of tending to some people in this town, which happens to have a bomber plane going right after it. And the two of them...
A Gotha, I think.
A Gotha.
They refer to it as such.
Jack and David are tasked with going after the bomber and attacking it once they hear that it is on their trail or headed toward this town. But not until after you get some amazing explosions as they drop the bombs on this town. Also some I think real aerial photography or videography of like the bombs dropping down out of the plane.
Yeah, like looking straight down as the bombs fall, and you see like the explosion shooting up.
So cool. They made sure to hire a director who flew planes in World War I for this movie.
William A. Wellman, who was a fighter pilot.
And yeah, it shows. There's like a lot of
there's
a lot of like gritty reality in this movie. Like it's a violent war movie. And it has some like sequences with really intense like trench combat and all this stuff. It's super good.
Yeah, it really goes as hard as a movie from this time can go, kind of, as a war movie.
It goes harder than any movie that I have ever seen so far.
They pulled no stops in terms of how enormous this production was. It's bonkers.
The General last year you could consider to be a proto-action movie, and this is an action movie.
Right, yeah. Right, they shoot down the big bomber, and it crashes in a really cool way. And they have some time off, so they decide the boys head to Paris. Another big crazy intertitle where like just the words Paris like fly at the screen. And Mary is sent after the boys. She hasn't met up with them yet at this point. She's sent into Paris to bring the pilots back for the next day's attack. They just find out They come down the wire that they need to attack the next day. So they need to go out and get all the pilots who are partying on the town in Paris and bring them back to the base.
Leave is canceled because we've got the big push.
Yeah. So she's asking around people in Paris, like, where are all the pilots? And it's like, oh, I saw those two. They were just in a peach of a fight. And they busted up this window. And so she's sort of looking all throughout them, and we find Jack in like a Paris, I don't know if it's really a nightclub, but it's a saloon, a music hall, as it were. And there's one of the most famous shots in this movie. If I'm going to single out any single shot of any movie, like, this is a real doozy. It's so good that Rian Johnson used it in Star Wars, which is this super cool, like, it looks like a dolly movie. Like, it's just the camera moving forward in a straight line. But because it's in this, like, Paris cafe music hall place, it's moving over a bunch of tables that everyone's sitting at. And we're moving, like, in between these people sitting at tables.
Yeah, so, like, various conversations or interactions happening on either
and
side
people are, like,
of the screen.
People are, like, moving glasses, like, out of the way as the camera, like, goes inches past it. And we finally settle on Jack as he's sitting dead center of the middle of the frame. And he's just getting a giant thing of champagne poured into a glass that he's, like, ogling.
It's a great shot. I mean, I think two kind of legendary, like, shots from these two movies, Sunrise and The Wings. One of the kind of traveling Matt from the last one, and then this, which this must have required so much coordination to make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, certainly a lot of coordination in the performances. You can even see, like, people, like, subtly moving stuff out of the way for the camera, but because at first you're like, how did they even shoot this? Because it's like, normally you shoot it on a dolly track, but the tables are in the way.
They might have had to, like, oh yeah, okay.
I wanted to look it up because I had a vague idea, but they had to hang the camera on a platform from, like, a track so it could move over all the tables. But it was on this platform, and it was shot with an IMO camera, which was a early kind of motorized film camera. I actually used the 60mm version in school called the Filmo. Fun fact. But so it's hanging. It's like on a platform and it's hanging, and the camera operator had to be on the platform with it to shoot. Yeah, it looks fantastic.
That's so cool.
There's actually, so this is just a great sort of, like, camera move, I guess. Like, it does kind of call attention to itself. And the director, William Wellman, later said in an interview, there's a funny quote that I wanted to bring up. Camera movement I loved, and then I got awfully sick of it. I did the first big boom shot in Wings, which is not technically really a boom, but whatever. When the camera moved across the tables in the big French cafe set. Then everybody got on a boom, and both me and Jack Ford got right off. We both agreed we'd never use the thing again. There's too much movement. It makes some people dizzy. It really does. And they become more conscious of the camera movement than they are of what the hell you're photographing. I used to get some wonderful odd angles, but then everybody started odd angles, shooting through people's navels.
Wow.
To which I say, if only William Wellman could see the movie Ambulance. But I find that interesting that it's like he does this really cool shot in this movie, and then everyone is like, we love camera movement, and he's like, too much. We have camera moving all over the place. Too much. People.
It's over. I did it, and then that's it. William Wellman also made the initial version of A Star Is Born, also starring Janet Gaynor.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
So anyway, Mary shows up to the French cafe and finds Jack just totally sloshed. He is seeing bubbles everywhere and says, "No war, just bubbles." There's a great, Clara Bow's face is really great in this scene where, like, she sees Jack drunk and doesn't look at camera, but it's just like you see her, like, dejected face of like, oh, this dude.
Well, and also, like, he's like hitting on this French lady, and
and her just lady. Like her face is so funny to me. It's a really great performance.
Yeah, it's a bit more like comedy at this point, where,
but it's not like over overwrought comedy. Like she's not like making a silly face. It's just her expression in this moment is so perfect.
Right. Like she's trying to like there's a boy that she loves who is with a French lady and she's
Like
trying
multiple
to like
French ladies.
yeah, and like she's
Which
trying
also
to
in that crazy like crane shot going across the tables, two of one of the tables is two ladies. I think one of them might be like in drag also.
he's way too drunk to function and is
Yeah.
hallucinating special effects bubbles in the air, which he's trying to shake everything to make bubbles come out like a champagne bottle. And
Yeah.
these bubbles are probably like they're the biggest kind of touch of unreality in this movie. They're very kind of like almost cartoony bubbles.
Yeah, for sure.
All these hijinks of her trying to like collect him basically.
Yeah, Mary like meets an old French woman in the bathroom and like she gives her a fancy dress to like get, try to get Jack to notice her, because like he won't even look at her while she's in her uniform. He's like, get out of here,
He doesn't recognize her.
Yeah, he's also just entirely drunk, so it's like he can't even see anything besides bubbles. But her fancy dress is shiny, and so he thinks it's bubbles. So he follows her, and they go up to a hotel room, and Jack almost immediately falls asleep, and is like, "Bah," and just zonks out on the bed. And so Mary's like, "All right, whatever. I guess I'll change back into my uniform now." And as she's changing, the like other military officers bust into the room and are like, "You're not allowed to be naked in the room with a pilot. What's going on here?" And she's like, "Well, yeah," but she can't convince them that it was innocent, and so she gets kicked out of the ambulance driving corps.
Before he even has a chance to recognize her. It all feels very unfair to her and
Which it is.
very sexist toward her.
The weird thing about this is that she doesn't then show up until the very end of the movie, which maybe is a consequence of her being written into the movie late.
Yeah, there's not a lot of her in this movie, and she has top billing because of how famous she is.
Right, because she's the It Girl. She was in It, playing the clown.
Mm-hmm. Have to make that joke.
Gotta make that joke every time it comes up. But so then, a presumably very hungover Jack comes back for the big push, the big battle.
It's like World War I D-Day.
They basically like pulled a real D-Day just to film it, because like it is colossal, the scale of this battle. I mean, this is like the entire third act of the movie, right?
Yeah.
Or like end of second act into third act, whatever.
And there's battles happening in the sky that are super crazy. There's battles happening in the ground that are just like so violent with big tanks and explosions. It's ridiculous. This is the biggest scale thing ever. It's crazy.
It's not really that hyperbolic to say this is like the biggest scale thing filmed, maybe. I don't know. It's up there.
Yeah.
There's been other things that are also absolutely massive in terms of the scale of
I think there are other things that have been
stuff,
massive, but not all of them. I think a lot of them kind of get lost in that bigness. Where this movie, I feel like, is very well directed. It has all of this scale, but it like plays it properly, and it gives you a good pacing with all of it, and it like fills the frame in a nice way, and it doesn't drag it out too much. Like other movies that have had big action sequences, like big battle sequences, they're like, okay, well, we got like 500 people together, so we're gonna get like 15 minutes of footage out of this, you know. But this movie like knows how to use it so that it like has a punch and doesn't overstay its welcome.
So during this big battle, David is shot down but survives, but Jack thinks he's dead.
Yeah, he's behind enemy lines.
Right, Jack goes off on like a rampage in his plane, and he sees there's a scene I love where he sees a German like general or something in a car.
Yeah,
and like chases down the car and shoots it, and it crashes and explodes, and it's a great just like action movie thing of an airplane chasing a car, shooting it, and then it like rolls into a ditch and explodes.
there's so much going on in this movie. One kind of note to tie in like the kind of dramatic story back into this is this thing has been established before. Every time they get up in the planes,
Oh, right. Yeah.
David says all set and Jack says okay, and it's like they're buddies. They have a little thing that they do every
Yeah.
time. And this final battle, right before it has happened, Jack drops his reveals his locket to
Yeah.
David, and the locket comes open, and the picture that has a note written to David on the back of it is like falls onto the ground. And David has also received a letter from Sylvia saying, "This guy keeps saying he loves me so much, but like
He keeps sending me love letters. I don't know
like-
what to do.
yeah, the one I love is you, David." So David's like, "Oh my god, like I'm best buddies with this guy. We're war buddies.
Yeah.
Like we and you know." Jack is like basically displaying this to him is like, "Hey, I don't want this to come between us, but I love Sylvia too, you know?" So when the picture falls onto the ground, David realizes what is happening, grabs it, and
Tears it up.
he won't give it back to Jack, and he's like, "Let me put it in the locket. Like I need to put it back in the locket." And Jack's like, "No, I think only I want to touch this locket. This is the most important thing to me." And he's like, you gotta let me be the one to put it back in the locket. I don't want to break your heart, my friend."
Right. Yeah, because he doesn't want him to see the note on the back.
Yeah. And so rather than let this happen, he tears the note. He tears the photo up. And Jack is furious with him. He's like, I thought you'd be better than this to let this get in the way of our friendship. But he's really trying to protect him.
He could have just told him. But
yeah.
whatever.
And then they're very suddenly called to battle, to this big climactic battle.
Yeah.
And not only have they left on this weird foot, but also David has forgotten his Lucky Charm.
Classic mistake.
Yeah.
Which, you know, when he leaves that Lucky Charm behind, it's like, oh, this is not going to end well. And yeah, he's like almost immediately shut down.
Oh my god. Speaking of Lucky Charms, one thing that I forgot to mention about Oswald the Lucky Rabbit 5 hours ago is that there is one of the best joke in it, I think, is when the Lucky Rabbit thinks he's going to die, and then he pops his foot off of his leg and then kisses the foot because he's kissing a rabbit's foot for luck. Great gag.
Oh my god.
Great gag.
I didn't even pick up on that. We'll have to cut that out and put it back in the 1 week for one reel section.
So they are about to do their thing. David is like, "Hey, can we patch this up? All set?" And Jack is furious. He says he doesn't say anything, and they leave on this terrible note. And then David gets shot down, and
Jack thinks he's dead. He's not. But so then yeah, Jack is like, "Oh, like I left. He's dead now, and I left things angry, and I'd never get to like tell him how much I care." So
there's genuine like great chemistry between the two of them.
Yes. So David is shot down behind enemy lines. He's got to get back. So he steals a German plane, just like in Top Gun Maverick. So as the battle is finishing, as you know, like the Allies are winning or whatever, then at the end of the battle, David's flying back towards the American lines, and Jack sees this German plane, and he's like, "Oh, one more. Yeah. I'm gonna avenge my friend's death. One more plane. Red. I can shoot one more plane down." And so, not knowing that it is his friend who is still alive, he shoots the plane down, and it crashes into a farmhouse.
David's like pleading with him. He's like, "Can you see me, please, please?"
Yeah, it's like, it's me. But it's like engines are too loud, and so he's like, "One more Heine," and Jack lands to like get the he wants to cut the Iron Cross out of the plane, but he goes into the farmhouse and he sees that the pilot was actually David the whole time, and he's dying on his back. And so he runs over to
I have
him.
a wife. She's very beautiful, but she's dying.
She's gonna get better. And so they have this, you know, moment where he rushes over to him, and they're holding each other, and David is dying, and they kiss on the face, and then we cut to a propeller, and it stops turning, and it's like, he's passed on. His propeller has stopped.
Have you seen Paprika?
Yes.
Do you know the scene in Paprika where there's a guy who's like on the edge of death, and there's a bunch of pinwheels outside of where he is, and the pinwheels are spinning really fast in the wind, and then it looks like he dies, and the pinwheels all like come to a stop, and like his eyes are open. He's just like, his mouth is hanging open, and the people cover his eyes like they do in movies when somebody dies, and then they cover his eyes, and then the hand reveals that his eyes are still open. He's like, "I'm still alive," and then it cuts back outside, and the pinwheels start spinning. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
that's not Paprika. That's Tokyo Godfathers.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense for that movie.
Yeah.
I gotta rewatch Tokyo Godfathers.
I watch it almost every Christmas.
I should, like, it should be a requisite Christmas movie watch. But anyway, so that's, tragic end for David. Jack returns home.
It's really sad. It feels like unjust. It's
right.
Like, it's
if
tragedy.
only he'd known.
It's true tragedy.
Yeah, great drama. So Jack returns home in a parade. He brings the Lucky Bear back to David's parents, who forgive him for killing their son, basically.
They're like, "It's war, we get it."
Yeah. We kind of see Sylvia just like sitting alone, because the person that she actually cared about has died. And so Jack, now knowing that Sylvia wasn't ever into him,
he ends up seeing her letter to him as well.
Yeah. I think when he goes back to like get the teddy bear in the tent. So then, realizing that the woman that he cares about doesn't like him, he's like, "Well, who else do I know? Oh yeah, that gal Mary who lives next door." And so then they go and they see a shooting star, and they do the thing again, and then they kiss, and it's sweet and nice. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about this ending.
I don't know. It's like, I mean, she's a little she's underdeveloped, Clara Bow's character, and their relationship is underdeveloped, but I think it's kind of like this, she was the one that was there all along, she's the one that I was meant to be with.
I used up all of my softiness watching Sunrise, I guess. It is sweet. Speaking of Clara Bow's character being underdeveloped, there's another funny quote from here saying, "Wings is a man's picture, and I'm just the whipped cream on top of the pie."
Oh my god. That's quite a thing to say.
That is a thing that only someone would say in the 1920s.
I'm just the whipped cream on top of the pie.
I think she said it later, but still, that's a very 1920s thing to say.
This movie is sometimes cited as having cinema's first gay kiss, which is not correct in a way.
Yeah.
But like, also
both not correct technically, but also like it's not intended as like a romantic kiss, I don't think, even though it is on the mouth.
Yeah, it's like you could take it that way. I think it's interesting if you take it that way.
I think it kind of makes the movie better if you take it that way.
Yeah. Like, you could consider it this like kind of kiss on the mouth of camaraderie, or you could, consider it this like sort of, I don't know, bisexual kind of thing, I guess.
I mean, David also kisses his mother on the mouth, so
yeah,
maybe it was just less of a romantic connotation. This movie took about 9 months to shoot, which is a long time.
Mm-hmm.
It cost,
especially when people are cranking out 3 movies a year a lot of the time.
Yeah. This movie cost in 1927 $2 million, which, according to the calculator that I used, is about $35 million now.
Mm-hmm. That's about what I read. Yeah.
Less than what I thought. A $35 million movie is expensive, but it's not like
they didn't have to pay for computers.
Crazy, I guess. Yeah.
The computers are half the cost of all these movies now.
There was a lot of hooking up on set, apparently. The director, William Wyman, described the set as So they shot in San Antonio, and he said San Antonio became the Armageddon of a magnificent sexual Donnybrook, which is also a hell of a quote. Magnificent Sexual Donnybrook is also a good episode title. He also said
we know that our episode titles do well when they have the word sex in them.
You're not wrong. He also said that all of the elevator girls at the hotel got pregnant where the cast and the crew stayed, which might not be true. That seems like a joke, but damn. I think Clara Bow and Gary Cooper hooked up at some point, I read. So good for them.
Good for them.
I think Clara Bow was either engaged or married at the time. Maybe they both were. Both of them have long histories of just hooking up with co-stars and people. So
this was that real Babylon era.
I mean, Margot Robbie's character is directly based on Clara Bow, so yeah. Mm-hmm. Some prints of this movie had sync sound effects and music using the kinegraphone process, which I think was sound on film, as opposed to Vitaphone, which we'll talk about in a second.
And yeah, the most popular version of this movie that exists now is a restoration that had Ben Burt of Star Wars fame doing the period-appropriate sound effects to go along with the movie and the score. And I think his sound effects, of course, are amazing. They
give it a little bit of that Ben Burt magic.
Yeah, they feel very very, very immersive and deep.
Yeah. And this movie premiered in New York City, but it didn't go wide to like most theaters until 1929, which is kind of crazy. But